Hi guys, my name is Nishal Kaushal. I am currently interning with the Lexicon company, and today I will talk about the position of a minor who is admitted for the benefits of a partnership under section 30 of the Indian Partnership Act, and basically the modes of introduction of a partner in the firm. So basically, the person who possesses the capacity to contract can be partners in a partnership firm. According to Section 11 of the Contract Act, an agreement by or which a minor is void ab initio. However, he can derive benefit under it. As such, a minor cannot be a full-fledged partner, but with consent of all the partners for the time being, minor may be admitted to the benefits of a partnership. In Sri Ram versus Gauri Shankar, it was held that there cannot be a partnership of minors among themselves as they are incapable of entering into a contract. So, the parties who form a partnership should have contractual capacity. A minor having no contractual capacity cannot be a partner at the formation of a partnership. However, once the partnership is created by others having contractual capacity, he may be admitted to the benefits of partnership because the partnership is based upon mutual agency and the minor may be an agent. The position of a minor partner may be of two heads. First, position before attaining majority, like rights of a minor partner before attaining majority. The following are the rights of a minor partner before attaining his majority. As first, he has a right to such share of the property and of profits of the firm as may have been agreed upon. Second, he has a right to access and to inspect and copy the accounts, but not the books of the firm. Section 30 clause 2. Third, the minor partner has right to file a suit for his share of the property of the firm when he is not given his due share of profit. Section 30 clause 4. Second, the liabilities of a minor partner before attaining majority. So basically, the following are the liabilities of a minor partner before attaining majority. Are first, the liability of the minor partner is confined only to the extent of his share in the profits and property of the firm, but he is not personally liable for his private estate cannot be made liable. Second, a minor partner cannot be declared insolvent. If the firm is declared insolvent, then his share in the firm vests in the official receiver or official assignee. Now, what is the position on attaining majority? So basically, what are the rights and liabilities of a minor after attaining majority? So basically, on attaining majority, the minor partner has to decide within 6 months whether he shall continue in the firm or leave it. These 6 months run from the date of his majority or from the date when he first comes to know that he has been admitted to the benefits of the partnership, whichever the date is later. Within this period, he should give a public notice of his choice to become or not to become a partner in the firm. So if he fails to give a public notice, he is deemed to have become a partner in the firm on the expiry of 6 months. So where the minor partner elects to become a partner, so the minor partner becomes personally liable to the parties for all acts of the firm. His share in the property and profits of the firm is the share to which he was entitled as a minor partner. Now, if where the minor partner elects not to become a partner, then his rights and liabilities continue to be those of a minor up to the date of the notice. His share is not liable for any acts of the firm done after the date of the public notice. And last, the minor partner is entitled to sue the partners for his share of the property and profits of the firm. So now, what are the modes of introduction of a partners in firm? So basically, the admission of a partner, Section 31 of the Act lays down no person shall be introduced as a partner into a firm without the consent of all existing partners unless there is an agreement between the partners that one or more of them shall have the right to introduce a new partner at that time without consulting others. Therefore, a new partner can be introduced either with the consent of all the partners or by a previous agreement between the partners to that effect. This is because the relations of partners are based on mutual trust and confidence. As such, only the person can be admitted as a new partner who enjoys the confidence of all the partners. A new partner can also be introduced in the firm if there is a contract between the partner in this regard. Therefore, it means that a new partner can be admitted either with the consent of all the partners or in accordance with the contract. A new partner is called the incoming partner. Liability of a new partner according to Section 31 Clause 2 subjects to the provision of Section 30. A person who is introduced as a partner into a firm does not thereby become liable for any act of the firm done before he became a partner. This means the liability of a new partner starts from the date of his admission. However, the new partner may agree with his partners to be liable for the liability of the firm incurred by the firm before the date of his admission. But such an agreement is binding only between the new partner and the existing partners and does not give any right to the creditor to sue the partner for past debts of the firm. But a new partner may be made liable to the creditors of the firm for the past debts of the firm only if the new partners or the reconstructed firm should have assumed the liability for the past debts, and the creditors should be informed of the new arrangements. The new partner becomes liable to those of the creditors who expressly or implicitly accepts the new arrangement. Thank you.